Hello, welcome back to another episode of From Prison to the Streets. I'm Eric. I did 11 years in prison and I talk about prison stuff. Today, I'm going to be talking about the softest dude I ever met in prison. So be sure to like and subscribe if that's your thing, and let's get the ball rolling. So, this dude's name was Rebel. We were in Lansing together behind the walls. Lansing is a old prison. It was built in the 1860s. It literally has like 30-foot limestone walls around the place. And so I'm there. There's this dude on my run named Rebel, and he was my neighbor at one point. And when he was my neighbor, we were cool, But I had my TV. He didn't have any electronics. And I was usually working on my schoolwork or watching TV. At that time, we had Fox Sports 1, UFC was on there, so in the evenings, I was usually watching UFC. Now, this dude, Rebel, did not have anything. He didn't have anyone to talk to, and so we would talk cell to cell. Lansing's really old. The front of the cells are all iron bars, so you can talk from cell to cell very easily. But, we kind of hit it off. We were, okay. I wouldn't say we were best friends or friends even. I would say we were acquaintances because I didn't consider very many people in prison to be my friends. But they ended up moving this guy further down the run, and he would still try to talk to me. Now, I don't like hollering at people way down the run. I do not like that. I find it disrespectful to other people who live on the run. If a guy's trying to take a nap or something like that, they don't want to hear you hollering and yelling between cells. So I tried not to do that. But he would always try to holler at me and talk to me, even though we weren't neighbors anymore. And, to be fair, that's kind of how you have to do it in Lansing because you're locked down most of the time. Especially, we were in the mental health unit. You're locked down the entire time you're not at yard, which is about, 22 and a half hours a day. So one night, he was trying to holler at me, I guess, and I was watching UFC. I had my headphones on. The TVs in prison did not have speakers, so you had headphones. And I had my headphones on. I'm watching TV. I'm not hearing a word he's saying. But he's hollering at me and trying to get my attention. My neighbor, Red, knocks on my wall. Now, if someone knocks on my wall, I would usually know that someone was trying to talk to me because I could feel the vibration through my head. I would sit back against my wall with my TV on the other side of the cell and watch TV. So if someone knocked on the wall, I could feel that vibration on the back of my head. So I took my headphones off and I go over. I said, "What's up, Red?" He said, "Hey, man, Rebel's trying to holler at you." And I said, "What's up, Rebel?" And he said, "Oh, it's nothing, man. I've been trying to holler at you for 15 minutes. I see how it is. You don't want to mess with me no more. I guess you got some sort of problem with me or something." Now, I hate when people say that I have problems with them when I don't, or they make assumptions about how I'm feeling. And I got pretty annoyed by that. I said, "Look here, Rebel. I don't sit at the bars for hours on end waiting for you to talk to me. I got other stuff I can do in here. I'm working on a college degree. I'm watching TV. I'm doing my time. You ain't my wife or something where I gotta listen for you to call me, at all hours of the day. And I don't have a problem with you, or I didn't have a problem with you. But if you want to have problems, we can have problems." And I said, "You know what? Fuck that. We do got problems. I ain't fucking with you no more." That's all I said. I didn't say I was going to do anything to him. I said, "I'm not fucking with you no more." I said, "You're a weirdo." Because that's some weird stuff. When someone doesn't want to talk to you and you get all in your feelings about it, or if someone's just busy and you get all in your feelings about it, that's weird. It wasn't even that I didn't want to talk to the dude. I had my headphones on. I'm watching TV. I'm minding my own business. And I don't like to holler down the run all the time. I'm not that type of dude to be on the run at all hours of the day. Well, when I said that, I guess he got a little bit intimidated by that. Lansing is an intimidating place. A lot of violence goes down in prison. People get their heads split all the time. It's not a great environment. So a little bit later, he tries to send me a kite. He passes it from cell to cell, or has it pass from cell to cell all the way down to me. And a kite, if you don't know, is prison slang for a letter or a note. And Red, once again, knocks on my wall. And I'm like, "What's up, Red?" And he said, "Hey, man, I got a kite." I said, "You got a kite?" He said, "Yeah, it's from Rebel." I said, "Man, I don't want that shit. I just told the dude I ain't fucking with him no more." And Red hollers down at Rebel. He's like, "Hey, he said he don't want it." And Rebel pipes up. He's like, "Hey, Eric, it's just, I just wanted to say I was sorry, man." And I'm like, "Check this out, Rebel. If you've got something to say to me, don't put it in a kite. Holler at me at yard in the morning. That's what you do." I didn't mean that in a way like, if you got something to say, catch me at yard. That's not how I meant it. I'm the type of person, if we got problems, you need to say something to me face to face. You need to look me in the eye, shake my hand, and apologize like that. Not this girly stuff, and no offense to girls who watch my channel, but none of this stuff where you're putting it in a note and sending it to me. What are we, in high school, junior high? Come on now. Be a man about it. Shake my hand, look me in the eye, tell me you fucked up. All right? Well, when I said, if you got something you want to say to me, say it at yard tomorrow, he took that the wrong way. He took that to mean, I'm going to mess you up at yard in the morning. I went back and I sat down and started watching TV. 15 minutes later, a cop is doing rounds, and Rebel stops the guy. And he's like, "Hey, there's a dude on this run, and I think he's going to try to beat me up at yard tomorrow. I need to check in. I need to go into protective custody." So they cuff him up, and they take him to the hole, and they put him on protective custody. The dude checked in on me. A few days later, it might not have even been a few days later, it was probably 1 or 2 days later, they brought him back down there. And the cop who was working was named Dudley. And Dudley was one of those officers that, if you treated him with respect, he was an all right officer. He would treat you with the same respect. You get what you give with a lot of officers, and Dudley was that type. But Dudley was also an officer that did not have a lot of respect for weak people, or people who didn't stand up for themselves, or people who were rats. Well, Dudley does his rounds, and this guy had gotten out of the hole, and they moved him right back down the run. And Dudley is walking by a cell, and he stops Dudley. And he said, "Hey, man, I got problems with a dude on this run. I can't be on this run." And Dudley's like, "Well, this is a mental health unit. Where are we supposed to put you? You are a mental health inmate. You have to be here." He's like, "Well, I can't stay here. You know, he's gonna try to get at me at yard." Well, Dudley also knew everybody's monikers because he would listen to Talk on the Run. Well, Dudley comes down to my cell, and he puts that dude on blast, for real. He said, "Hey, Mr. Swanson." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he said, "There's an inmate down here. He goes by Rebel. He lives in cell such and such." And he's saying this very loud so everybody on the run can hear. Remember, open bars on the front of the cells. You can hear everything that's going on the run. And he says, this inmate down here in cell such and such, he goes by Rebel. He said that you're going to beat his bitch ass in the morning at yard. I said, I don't think that I'm going to do that. And he said, are you sure? I said, yeah. He said, y'all don't have any problems? I said, no. He said, well, he stopped me when I was doing my rounds, and he said that you were going to beat his bitch ass. I'm like, no, Dudley, I'm not going to beat him up. It's all good, man. And he's like, you hear that, Rebel? He said he's not going to beat your bitch ass. It's okay. You don't need to check in. And then he walked off. So, Rebel, from that moment on, was labeled as a rat and a check-in. I didn't beat him up, but because of that, because the cop put him on blast, I'm sure a lot of people tried to extort him after that or whatever. You know, they probably tried to extort him. They probably tried to get something out of him, or they tried to intimidate him or something. I'm sure he had problems after that. I wasn't there for a lot longer, so I didn't really worry about it too much. But yeah, that was the softest dude I ever met in prison. So, this has been another episode of From Prison to the Streets. I'm Eric. Thank you for watching. I will see y'all later.
Rage, radiation.